The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the soul of excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
We wanted to eliminate abuse and fraud. We'd eliminate the president of the United States from the office right now and the rest of the sycophants in his administration that are allowing him to do so many illegal things.
2 weeks ago, a 76-year-old man named Melvin, who lives in Benton County in Warsaw, Missouri, near Lake of the Ozarks, called our office. He was almost in tears. He said, "Congressman, you've got to tell this story to the American people." I said, "What is it?" His daughter is a hairstylist. She works a lot on tips. Her husband works a lot of overtime in his job. They have not gotten a refund in years. And this year they just opened their mailbox, opened that envelope, and the check was for $12,000. That's real money. Not just for Warsaw, Missouri, but anywhere in America.
A tale of two Congress people, one, Democrat Bonnie Watson Coleman, calling for Donald Trump to be, in her words, eliminated. Democrat, again, Bonnie Watson Coleman calls for President Trump to be eliminated. The other, that voice you just heard, was Representative Mark Alford, who's telling a story about what Donald Trump and the Republican Party did. We have more of those stories coming up. If we can't get to them today, we will get to them. You know, that little guy running for office in Georgia, Texas, is running around saying that the only people getting tax cuts this year are millionaires and billionaires. It's just such a blatant lie. It's just unbelievable. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, my friends. Fastest hour in American media. The Swalwell scandal is still raging. Let me just run through some headlines real quick. Trump declares Strait of Hormuz permanently open just hours after imposing Iran blockade. As China intervenes, they want me to do it. Apparently there's a deal going on. China has promised that they're not going to sell Iran weapons, and there's all kind of movement going on, talks of peace. It may happen. Border Czar Holman fires back at Pope Leo, explains what Vatican leaders don't know about immigration, and he is among others. I just pulled off a story that CNN did. I don't know whether I brought it with me. They went out to Notre Dame University, and they found a bunch of students at Notre Dame that ragged on Trump for being blasphemous toward the Pope, and all the Pope is trying to do is do peace. And all. It's funny how when CNN goes and in support of the Pope, because this was the same organization, and Notre Dame was the same place, as I recall right, that had some pro-abortion speaker, and people were complaining it was a Catholic university, and what are they doing with all this pro-abortion stuff at Notre Dame? And that rarely gets covered. But yet, when they think they can get some mileage out of it, off they run to Notre Dame like it's some institution of Catholicism, which it's not anymore. Okay, let's do this. Non-citizen charged with voting in Minnesota 2024 election after admitting a mistake to investigators. Just another non-citizen voting. Nothing to see there. Go away. Vance. Oh, this is hysterical. I'm going to take a... Let me move to some other stories and circle back, as Jinsaki would say, to the Vance and the fraud story, because I got to lump that in with some other stories. Another story, House Democrats file 5 impeachment charges against who? Pete Hegseth. 8 Democrats sponsoring the resolution. Steve Cohen of Tennessee, Yasmin Crockett of Texas, who's still there until this term ends, and then she will be gone. Nikema Williams of Georgia, never heard of her. Sarah McBride of Delaware. That's the, Representative McBride. Brittany Peterson of Colorado. Dina Titus of Nevada. And Dave Min of California. And Sri Thanadar of Michigan, who's just a very interesting congressperson. So they all have now filed articles of impeachment against Pete Hegseth. I'm sure that somewhere tonight Pete Hegseth is deeply, deeply concerned about it. So concerned that he may end up looking for the actual legislation so he can put it in a fire and burn it. Or something. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Todd Blanche is torching Judge Boasberg after an appeals court. The appeals court basically slapped the hell out of Boasberg, if you really want to put it in street parlance. Boasberg, talking about impeachment. There's a good candidate. Democrats seek to bar presidents from collecting settlement money from the government. That story's from NBC. Democrats are busy. Look at what Democrats are doing. They're saying that Trump ought to be eliminated. They're trying to impeach Pete Hegseth. They're trying to bar any president from collecting settlement money from the government. No matter what the government does, president shouldn't be able to sue. He's not an American citizen. And then there's Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul is now proposing a tax on New York City second homes. So if you are a resident of New York, you have a second home that's worth over $5 million, Kathy Hochul wants to put her little grubby fingers in your pockets and steal your money so that she can spread it around and spend it, she and Mondami, on illegal aliens so that they can spend it on whatever it is that they spend money on in New York that they never seem to have enough of. Be it illegal aliens, be it welfare programs, be it opening up grocery stores that they don't know how to run, that they never will know how to run. Whatever they want, however they want to burn and throw away your money in New York, Hochul wants more of it. So now, if you have a second house and it's worth a few bucks, they want to surcharge you and make you pay for the privilege of having a second house and tax you up the wazoo even more. I don't know what it's going to take for some of you folks with money to figure out that you're the enemy. Democrats look at you as an enemy. They don't think you deserve what you've earned. They don't think your family deserves what you've earned. They think they should have it so they can waste it on anybody and anything that they want to waste it on, and people, including people who have no ambition, who sit on their asses all their lives, unaccomplished, because they don't want to be, because they want to feed off others and be vultures off others, and yet Democrats find them so worthy. And that's not everybody. And I want to make that clear. That is not everybody. There are many people who receive social services who need them, who legitimately need them. And we, as any member of society, should be compassionate to those people and, of course, be willing to help. But non-citizens, people that refuse to work, people that take advantage, people that can work and don't want to work. No, that's how Democrats want to waste your money too. And they want to take from people that achieve and just spread the money out to people who don't want to do a damn thing to improve their lives, and you're just supposed to continue to go along with it, or people that are here illegally. People who, and it's funny because you can't go in any country that most of these people that are here illegally in the United States, you can't do it. You can't go in their countries and live off their people. But yet they can come here and live off you. And it's all supposed to be just hunky-dory. And then you have Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul's ICE guardrails have flipped the scripts for Democrats. She's trying to erect legal barriers around President Trump's deportation tactics, her embrace of sanctuary-like policies, like limiting how local cops are deputized to work with federal agencies. Supposedly, she's placing a bet, this is in Politico, that backing protections for illegal, they say the large undocumented immigrant population, let me just correct that. Hochul is now placing a bet that backing protections for New York's large illegal alien population will pay off with voters. Because opinion has shifted and ICE has been so demonized, now she wants to stand up against ICE. She wants to block ICE from enforcing the law in quote-unquote sensitive locations. That has never made sense to me. There are locations too sensitive. Sensitive. The location is sensitive. The location has feelings, and its feelings would be hurt if somehow illegal aliens are arrested. You're going to hurt the feelings of the place. So we can't arrest people there. This is what Hochul is doing. While she puts her grubby hands in people's pockets to take their money to fund for all this illegality. Live Nation got rocked. Jury found that they have been illegally monopolizing ticket markets, and Ticketmaster. What happens next? So those are a few of the headlines. There are some other stories. The Swalwell stuff is still going on. We're going to touch on that. Today, we're going to take an unusual turn down the cultural lane and revisit an interview that took place with Dave Chappelle. Among other stuff. So here we are. This is not on our list of historical music for today. Howsoever. We are playing it to honor a very valued member of our program here. Lady Benedict is celebrating her birthday today. And all of us, from Her Highness Princess Diana, all of us here, to me, the Duke of Democracy, and so many other people would just like to stop a minute and thank the beautiful and wonderful Lady Benedict, who has just been a source of inspiration and tremendous assistance behind the scenes here for me since I started this program. And I am very, very deeply appreciative of it. I understand that her husband, Sir Bruce, is going to provide a very special birthday present for Lady Benedict. He will allow her to cook him his favorite meal on her birthday today. And if she's a good girl, he will allow Lady Benedict to spend the night in his quarters. This evening, in celebration of her birthday. Right on, Sir Bruce, right on. Happy birthday. We love you tremendously, Lady Benedict. James Golden Snerdley here. Don't go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
It's so hard to believe. The stuff that's going on. Oh, man, this is some Ohio players. That's because Clarence Satchel was born on this day. Saxophonist and guitarist with the Players. Speaking of players, let's talk about Swalwell. Adam Schiff, cut 6. Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff as he is known, was on PMS Now with Jen Psaki. And when he was on with Jen Psaki, this is what he had to say about his buddy, his friend, his pal, was almost first out of the gate to endorse him for governor, Eric Swalwell. This is what Shifty Shift does.
Do you still have questions about who knew what when? About
who knew what when?
Well, I don't know what others may have known. I can tell you that I certainly didn't know that he was involved in any conduct along the lines of what has come out since Friday, and if I had, I wouldn't have gone near him with a 10-foot pole. I think there are many people in Congress as shocked as I am. Maybe I'm just not plugged into what others are, if they've heard more, but I just feel shocked and betrayed and sickened, and I think a sense of grief about all of this. But my paramount feeling is that I'm grateful these women came forward. I'm grateful that they did so when they did. It prevented our state from making a potentially terrible mistake. And certainly if I had known what these women have to say, I wouldn't have gone near them with a 10-foot pole, as I said.
So you went with him with a 10-foot pole. What kind of pole did you go with him near? Mr. Shift, what kind of pole? And come on, nobody believes you have a 10-foot pole. Let's just clear that up right now. Nobody even believes you have a foot pole, Mr. Shift. The question is, why were you near Swalwell with a pole at all, and what were you doing, and when did you know? That's the question. And we want some answers, too. I wouldn't have gone near him with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, everybody doesn't know Swalwell now. All his buddies. I remember that song by I think it was Harold Melvin, Where Have All My Friends Gone? We'll be right back, folks. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations, and I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have.
Let alone a 10-foot pole. Oh, that's what Adam Schiff says. He wouldn't. If he'd have known, he wouldn't have been touching Swalwell with his 10-foot pole. I don't know. They're all playing dumb. PMS Now, cut 7. Debbie Jingle has this to say about it all.
You haven't heard the rumors, but do you believe that the Democratic leadership had zero idea about any of this, given that you said there have been rumors circulating for quite a while about him?
But, you would really be surprised at how everybody thinks that we all hear everything. But if you're somebody, I don't go out at night. I don't, since my husband died, I'm never dating again. I don't want to have any. So I work. I go to events and I work. think that there are a group of people that do talk to each other at night, try to help relax, have social lives. But I do believe leadership hadn't heard about it because I know them, and I think if they had, they would have confronted it. And the one person I know, if she had heard it, would have decimated him, and that's Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, give me a break. You love their respect. I don't know. Look, and her husband did pass away, and so she says, my husband, I'm not dating. He wasn't doing nothing to me. He didn't want to anyway. You didn't. I don't think you were as tight, Miss Dingle. With I just go home and I work. I don't know. Exactly. That's what that's the Democrat line. You ask him 2 words, Eric Swalwell. Ask him about, whenever it doesn't matter, you ask him about Eric Swalwell, and that's what they say. That's exactly what they... I don't know about Eric Swalwell. I don't know. This is the most funniest thing. Ask yourself this question, ladies and gentlemen. They all didn't know. Nobody knew. Yet you have a story today. Swalwell scandal sparks fears of deeper rot. It has shifted attention not only to his closest associates, but to a larger set of sitting lawmakers from both parties suspected of lurid sexual activity. I want to know, because inquiring minds, I have one. I want to know what the lurid was. When they tell me that there's, this is the Los Angeles Times saying that people in D.C. are suspected of having lurid sexual activity. And I'm inquisitive. I want to know what kind of sexual activity they're having that's lurid. What are they doing that's lurid? How far does lurid sexual activity go? What is lurid activity? What is lurid sexual activity? Does anybody know exactly? Jonas is in the room. Jonas, I can ask him because he's young, and young people are supposed to know about this kind of stuff. Jonas, what is lurid sexual activity? I'm not hearing an answer. What is lurid activity? Huh?
Do I really have to say?
Well, I mean, you can say. I don't want to put you on the spot and make you say things you don't want to say. But when you hear the phrase, what does it mean exactly? I know. I'll ask my nephew. He should know.
Very
TJ,
creative and vivid.
Creative sexual? Then why don't they just say creative sexual activity?
But it's like unnaturally creative.
It's like what?
It's unnatural.
It's unnatural sexual activity.
Yeah, shocking, gruesome.
Shocking, gruesome.
Violent sometimes.
I don't want to know anything about violence.
Watch 50 Shades of Grey.
Watch 50 Shades of Grey. I wrote it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just a flippant remark. Just with no truth attached to it at all. And I haven't seen it, and I haven't read the book. Didn't have to. Carlos, what is lurid sexual? That's what it says in this story, and I'm just trying to find out what it says here. The Los Angeles Times says that The 72-hour collapse of Swalwell's political career has shifted attention not only to his closest associates in Congress, but also to a larger set of sitting lawmakers from both parties suspected of lurid sexual activity. So, what is lurid, Carlos, sexual activity? What are they talking about here?
I got no idea. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Hey, nobody seems to know. Well, I mean, except TJ, who said, and Jonas, who said it's unnatural, and it could be anything. I don't know what they're talking about here. But anyway, there are fears, ladies and gentlemen, that now the investigation's spreading, so to speak. And people, and you know, TMZ just hired a crew that's going to work D.C. TMZ is putting, why? Because politics is show business for the ugly. That's why Rush used to say that. What politics is show business for the ugly. You're not pretty enough to get in Hollywood, you go to Washington, D.C. So TMZ is now opening a branch in Washington, D.C. to start tracking it down. And you have all these people now. You have the L.A. Times saying that there's people in both parties suspected of lurid sexual activity, and they won't go any further. Cut 10, you have Representative Ana Luma drop this bomb on CNN. This is what she said.
And I look forward to assisting the FBI with information that I have regarding the investigation into former Representative Swalwell.
Can you expand on that, Congresswoman?
Look, there's been a lot of reports you've heard about people knowing information on the Hill, but there was some information brought to my office specifically. I did obtain forensics on that now infamous video in the hotel room. I am hearing that there is an investigative report coming out that he used his campaign funds to pay for that. There's also been allegations that potentially the person that filmed that video was potentially a minor. All of these things obviously coming to my office, but I am going to be handing over to the FBI because they are, to my understanding now, asking Mr. Swalwell to come in and talk to them.
Just for context for our viewers, she's referring to a video that CNN has not yet verified, that we're still working to verify, of Swalwell in a hotel room. Allegedly with, as you noted, someone in the room whom he was kissing, and there have been various allegations on social media about what was happening there. CNN, again, has not yet verified those.
We haven't verified it. Oops, I asked the question, and now I have to talk about it. We know about it, but we're not telling you about it. But she just blew the whistle. So now we have to pretend like we're really looking into it, because we weren't going to try to show you this, but now we have to because she mentioned it. Oh, no. Yes. Okay. Moving on, folks. That's the Swalwell news. We have other news from the Pope. And I'm going to hold it because it'll be just as good tomorrow if we talk about it as it will today. But it'll pop out the Pope, his comments against Trump, and it goes on. Mike Johnson weighed in, J.D. Vance, Vice President Vance weighed in, but I got some other things to cover. First of all, let me get this story out of the way. This is from the Associated Press this afternoon, folks. Sit down if you're a real political junkie and you don't want to be shocked and laugh yourself silly. House Democrats, according to the Associated Press, are going to try an anti-corruption message to gain traction against Donald Trump in the midterms. Days after Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán was ousted by an opposition campaign with an anti-corruption message, Democrats want to try the same playbook against Donald Trump before the midterm elections. They launched today what they call a task force to overhaul ethics rules and protect access to the ballot. They also want to highlight the Trump family business dealings. So the Democrats want to run on corruption, being anti-corruption. Okay. Let us move to the next story from Fox News. Vance anti-fraud task force suspends 447 hospices in Los Angeles over more than $600 million in suspected fraud. This this now, 447 hospices, 23 home health agencies suspected of fraud. That is just still the tip of the iceberg of all the fraud. We know what happened in Minnesota. The California fraud is out of control. And what are Democrats now doing in California with all the fraud? These are the guys that say they want to run on anti-corruption. The Democrats now. Listen to this. A new bill introduced in the California legislature aims to protect the private information of immigration nonprofit employees after concerns that those workers are getting threats. Well, that sounds innocuous, but what's really going on? The bill is really called, for those who know it, what they want to do, the Stop Nick Shirley Act. What they want to do is they want to hide the information of all these illegal immigrants that are running fraud operations that Nick Shirley is exposing. And so they want to make it against the law for Nick Shirley to actually be able to look at California, see the records, then go visit these illegal immigrant locations, these illegal nonprofits, with a camera and put a camera to their face because they say they're being harassed. And that's what's going on here. It's targeting citizen journalists who are uncovering the Democrats' epic levels of fraud. I promised some Chappelle. And they're going to run on anti-corruption. Let's do Chappelle real quick. Chappelle was on NPR. As if he thinks Trump is funny. Cut 15. This is his answer to that. Michelle Martin was the host.
Funny. I mean, I've had people say this to me, like I've interviewed people to say, well, what do you like about him? They say, he's funny. Do you think he's funny?
Maybe if he wasn't president, I think that was funny. Or maybe at times, I do think, that's wearing thin. There are funny things about him. Like if I were to talk about him, I could, it would be funny. But I think what he does is so consequential. And so much of these things, in my lifetime, I've never really seen anything, a phenomenon quite like him. And I'm not trying to be political, but it's remarkable. I don't know. I don't know how funny it is.
He was asked about taking pictures and his remarks. Cut 16. This is funny. I love this one, personally.
I'll give you an example. Yeah. This is before I learned the phrase, I respectfully decline. And I was on Capitol Hill, and everybody ran up to take pictures with me from every congressional office. And I just take pictures with whoever I asked. I didn't ask how they voted, what their voting record is. And everyone, at first, was like CBC people. And then here comes Lauren Boebert. And she said, can I get a picture? And I'd already taken 40 pictures. I didn't want to say no in front of everybody. But I didn't know the phrase, I respectfully decline. So I just took the picture. And then she posted a picture before I could even get from there to the show and says something to the effect of, just two people that knew that it's just two genders. She instantly weaponized it or politicized it. So I got to the arena and I lit her ass up for doing that. And she should never do that, a person like me.
Now she knows what's up.
Yeah.
But he's taking a lot of flack online from a lot of people who said he has a double standard because he's the one that went after transgender stuff, and they do agree in principle. He's taking a little flack on that. The last one, I love this answer. Cut 17, she's asking him why he went over to Saudi Arabia and the like and took money. Cut 17.
U.S. intelligence did make it clear that they believe that the Saudis killed Jamal Khashoggi in the embassy in Turkey. And you knew that when you went, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now, I should tell you.
You had no qualms?
I won't say that. They asked me to go years before that. And I said no for that very reason. Since that time, the United States government does business with the Saudis. Netflix does business with the Saudis. Everyone. The Saudis finance tons of movies. All these things. I know. I see them financing boxing matches and all these things. And none of these things were an issue until I went there. Now, why is that? As soon as a black man can make money off the plantation, they're trying to tell you that the money is dirty. Well, okay, I'll go home and spend the money with actual slave owners on it. Mm-hmm. Where is this clean money you're talking?
But you said you hesitated for years to go. The years you didn't go. So what made the difference for you?
Time and circumstance. Time and the wheels of commerce kept turning. You know, if you want to be that pure about money, then stop driving your car, stop eating, don't use your cell phone. Everything is tethered to something that's just terrible. And I can make a million excuses or reasons to deprive that crowd of that show. But man, when I was standing in front of them, I feel like I did the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chappelle. By the way, he bought a location for this NPR station that was going to go under. He bought them a location in his town, and I think the interview was a result of that after, you know, they did the announcement. So he's supporting NPR, as a lot of people do. I'm one of those people that supports PBS. I was glad the government stopped funding it, but I like certain PBS programs, so I subscribe to them. Good for Chappelle. English songwriter Les Reed passed away on this day in 2019. He had other songwriter partners, but this is one of his songs. He co-wrote about 60 hits, and this is one of them, Delilah, The Last Waltz for Humperdinck, bunch of songs. Remembering Les Reed today. James Golden, Snerdley coming right back. Don't go away.
Rush. This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush. Now, here's James Golden.
So I'm just reading a post. I'm just reposting it as I'm speaking to you from Chris Rufo, who's just done amazing work. Princess Diana sent it to my attention. California giving free sex change procedures to homeless illegal aliens. Homeless illegal aliens are coming into California to get hormones, breast implants, bottom surgeries, all on the taxpayer dime, and all while they are whining about a deficit and deficit spending. This is just amazing. California. Roberta Flack was at number one and stayed there for 6 weeks with this one on this day in 1972. First time ever I saw your face. Just a beautiful song. Clint Eastwood used it in his movie, Play Misty for Me. Oh, man. We got to go. So beautiful, right? May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your family, your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, always, for you being here with me and allowing me to be with you. God willing, we are here for the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, mañana. And until then, I bid you a very happy birthday to Lady B. I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?